A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out Buffet too.
All about faith to this is Parker, yeah. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Welcome, everybody. Oh. Okay, let's see if it's right now. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host, and this is the show where we love South African football. We love African football, and every now and then we touch overseas. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Tell me in the comments if I am audible. Tell me if I'm freezing. Tell me if anything's happening, and I will endeavor to fix it. But if it's fine, I'm your host, George Mokwena, and this show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, unless we are having technical difficulties. But I am here. Okay, guys, a very interactive show I have for you. For those who are joining for the first time, please know that you can jump in and have conversations with me about whatever it is that we're speaking about. Mondays are review shows. So we're going to be speaking about SuperSport United versus Orlando Pirates. We're going to speak about Stellenbosch versus Kaizer Chiefs, a game that ended 3-1 to Kaizer Chiefs. And then, of course, Orlando Pirates went 2-2 and then 4-5 on penalties with Pirates going through. So we're going to have a review show. I'm going to have my panels. I'm going to do it a little bit different today. I'm going to have 3 panels of 15 minutes. So it's going to be 3 panels of 15 minutes. So I'm still going to give everybody 5 minutes, but we're going to do 45. Then I'm going to open it up in the last 30 minutes of the show for us to have an open chat, man. Whatever you want to jump in and speak about. There's a lot that happened. Abo CMA were fired. Abo Penny are now head coaches of Kenya. Here's the hour, man. But for now, where we're going to go first is we're going to start off with the Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, of course, played versus Stellies in the quarterfinals of the Nedbank Cup. They won 3-1. When you look at the stats, there were 9 shots from Stellies, 2 on target, 9 shots from Chiefs, 4 on target. They had 52% of the possession, did Stellies, and 48% for Kaizer Chiefs. Then, when it comes to the big chances created and big chances missed, Stellenbosch created 1 big chance, and they missed that chance, whereas Chiefs created 3 and missed none of them. So that is how that game pans out. Just a reminder of the starting lineups: Buma Frosler, Miguel Msimbango Ngobo, Dovetele, Modi, Sirino, Dupriz, Lilepo. On the other side, you have Stevens, Lekolo Anenduli, Cupido, Butsaka, Enyinaya, Kiba, Pasadine, Muloisa, Titus, and Torre as the starting lineup that side. Prati! Dinsang Prati. Ugcine nini ukena kuri semi-finaling man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
straight a tshwana ka ba feditse game ele bra OT ka mo gape ba re timile le penalty tshwanetse ka be re thotse le penalty game ele bra OT Kaizer Chiefs ra idise ba ra benefita se ra idise ba gore e dire win le game ele bra OT ai phambile saya and le go polean di referee tse di attack ntse le tsone ke batho ba botsa gore VR kae out wa bana di referee di le ko screen di le go sheba la video kae cause of gantsi di mic tse di referee di tse di tsenyeditsweng ga di a tsenya gore go consultive ai di tsa South Africa di a disappointa but all in all bra OT ke itumetse man re mo jojo re go di semi final ntwere e setanyana ke gore re go ina gore re tshameka le Sundowns re tshameka le Sekhukhune gore yang ra final yang e ka re bile re ka benefita gone go di semi final tso gore re go final gore khone go fitlha re go tshameka CAF Confederations Cup bra OT tse di ba ntse ba re he re benefitile le rona khale re ropiwa mo re sa bue sepe mo bra OT
nna ke batla go botsa ka game fast mpolelle ka midfield ya gago ko midfielding no tswere Cele o tswere Ngobo o tswere Serino ba tladile jwang mano ba bone jwang
bra OT ke ora ke re ke itumeletse go bona machine even though na se 100% but at least sing attacking wa bana ba khona gore fa like ke bone le partnership ya bone le Cele ka re itlo gore berekela Serino le ene mole le mole ana re passing a tla re passing sometimes a tla ba of but ke nagana gore Branami tshwanetse a build from that ke nagana gore re ka thola sengwe re le se go thola re defend re tsentse bo Martius Marti somewhere somehow gore re tla re mo tlhokanyana but midfield ke nagana gore tshwanetse e thome ke yone ka ba re ke mang ka le Ngobo
mara outside defense man outside defense gore le tabula ko morago ka bona hona motho o tla dlalang 6 mo
Braweti the best option to attack to defend is to attack Braweti attack sometimes it go and attack still land re tshameka ka yone bo marte bo marako ri Braweti le yana itemogala so lo idiski ara attacker re create the chances le bone ba ra attacker wa bona re tlo go gola Braweti ganyane re tlo go gola ntwe ke re tshwanetse re build a bona ntwe Chiefs e tshwanetse e irang Chiefs tshwanetse tshameke attacking football a bona gore mole ha ba ntsha Serino ba tsenya marete go ruile ga tseng Stellenbosch we all over ba setse ba tsenya pressure no batla go ne re ba iva e bile mba thola le goal wa bona
mara for last minute ena ke batla go botsa kwa ko pele to praise Modi le Lepo o reng ka bona
Braweti di praise ke ene striker se re tlhokang Braweti go bua nnete ke nagana gore di praise o tlhoka that support like ba ma accommodate ba tene ke striker se re tlhokang dan ba bangwe ke batla go ba ntsina ka mene go butshila dilo bo Morris ke na Morris na zama gore fa sanse mo game because a bona mo game ya go fa yone back for rona defensive ya rona ke re ine le 100% ya go fa Cele o go high ke man of the match wa game ne di praise ya go mo fa like for game ya ke di player tse re ka di rate gore ndele on party bra then Liliapo ya ke nagana Liliapo tshwanetse a improve somewhere mara o good but mole le like le wa gona go na le mo Stellenbosch ba ntse phoso teng mole ba re ba starta bolo ko morago then Liliapo a ba tshwanetse ka ba a dirile botoka or ka ba phasitse ke nagana ba re ke decision making ha go tshwanetse a berekele ka decision making ai e tlo go ba monate bra OT
okay no thank you Prati iriki welcome to the show. How are you?
How are you, OT?
Hey,
you are good, my brother.
I'm a semi-finalist. That's how I'm feeling right now.
At least today I'm happy because I usually come on the Monday show after we won on the midweek. There's no show on Friday, then we come on the Monday show after we lost on the Saturday. So I'm just a little bit happy and OT with the win.
Okay.
But OT that game I was looking for a lot of things. I was just a little bit concerned with a lot of things. There are a lot of things that were not happening in our way in that game. The first thing I won't I won't stick too much into the tactics and the positive. I'll speak about the concern,
Okay.
the concern. The first thing is that we wanted to control the ball. We wanted to control the game by playing it from the back. So the first thing that we used to do into that game, we were pumping the ball forward, pumping the ball forward, not understanding the thing that when we pump the ball, the players that are in the midfielder are not strong enough in terms of adjusting themselves into marking. We didn't have the players that are mentally strong in terms of the marking. So we struggled when we pumped the ball forward, pump the ball forward, pump the ball forward. But if we're taking a couple of risks, giving Abo Ngobo more of the ball, giving Abo
Abo Serino.
Yes, giving them more of the ball to control the game. We were gonna survive in a couple of minutes, but what I observed in that game, we're putting ourselves in the pressure. We're pumping the ball, but we didn't have enough people that have physical strength in terms of when that ball comes back, we have enough numbers to put ourselves under any circumstances of less pressure. That's the first thing that I observed.
Do you think that this game maybe should have been a Chiva game or a Morris game if Morris was available?
No, OT. We should have at least took some risks building from the back. There were several options from building from the back. We could have gone out of the press. Players like Abotsele, they are good, comfortable in terms of breaking the passing lanes, and make sure they advance the play into the second phase. When we have players like Abotsele and Ngobo, you have to risk starting from the back. You can't pump the ball, always pump the ball, because you always put them under pressure because they are not comfortable enough to always mark. That's the first thing that I observed in that game. We're putting ourselves under severe pressure by pumping the ball forward. Another thing that
very quickly
myself concerned. Yes. Okay, come on, OT. Yes. Okay, I'll try to be quick. Another thing that was giving myself concern is that it's just two points. The second point is that whenever Frosler is pushing forward, the teams are playing in his side. In his side now, whenever he's pushing forward, there's a vacancy of space. And that thing is putting a lot of pressure into the center back. So it concerns me. We need to little bit to deal with that circumstances. Whenever Frosler is pushing forward, there is a vacancy of space in the midfielder. There is a vacancy of space of dealing with the second balls. Whenever there is a ball that is pumped, a long ball is pumped to us, there are no availability of numbers to deal with the second balls. That's the second concern that I have into that midfielder. The players are not ready to get those second ball. And the last point that I observed in that game,
I'll give you some time. I just want to ask you. So, are you saying in the midfield? So now we played Ngobo and Cele in that midfield. How do you balance it out? Because I'm hearing a lot of people liking the Ngobo and Cele midfield with Sereno. What do you do to cover that second ball situation? Or would you bench one of them?
it's quite concerning, OT. I think we will try to patch those combinations, but I think whenever we want to play with Abongobo, we need to risk OT to play from the back. We can't always pump the ball. That will come on us as a long ball, and those players will always struggle. So we need to always risk starting from the back, because that's how we will always come up from the press. Starting from the back, always involve the fullbacks, make sure that we play the ball, because we can't always pump the ball, because that ball, when it's coming back, those players are under pressure. Okay, I wanted
very quickly, last one,
Yes. Gaston Serino was not comfortable. That's another thing that I captured in that game. Gaston Serino and Modi, there's a little bit of a clash in that position. When Gaston Serino is playing and Modi is playing, they usually occupy the same space. That's why Modi is not availing himself. And always when Serino is out of the game, you always see the Modi effect, the Modi effect, the Modi effect. Gaston Serino is drifting in the side of Modi and occupy the same space with Modi, with Gaston Serino and Modi. So they apply. I don't know what. Gaston Serino is putting a lot of pressure in Modi, and then it shadows his movement into the field of play. So I don't know how can we deal with that in making sure that Serino is not suffocating Modi in making him available into the game. So I think those are the major concerns that I have in that game. Gaston Serino moments, Gaston Serino seeking balls, the space that Frosla leaves, and also always pumping the ball forward and always struggle to survive into the field. I think those are the moments that I put that into the game.
For time, I'm gonna jump in. Let me bring Butale. Guys, please feel free to respond to the comments there. Butale, don't worry, I'll give you your time. Welcome, my brother. Tell me how you feel about this game.
OT, Kamban, Prime.
Mina yazi ngisuthi ngili-daily bread yami. Ngi-right, man.
Daily bread, OT. You know, OT, as a Chiefs fan, as a Kosi fan, it's hard to come to the panel and be positive, you know, because as a Chiefs fan, other clubs, you know, they may have temporary pain moments, but our pain is permanent. Happiness is temporary. So we approach the panel with pain.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start, you know, with the things that we have to change. Firstly, that midfield, right?
Okay.
That midfield has to be more compact, right?
Okay.
That midfield has to be more compact because being more compact will help us moving the ball from the first phase of play to the second phase on play and rotating the ball to the final third. I felt like the midfield was kind of all over the place during the course of the game because whenever Tele receives the ball, the only way forward was back, you know, and that leads, and we rotated the ball so much, not progressing forward but coming back, which leads Bruce to pump the ball. That's why Ongama was speaking about, you know, us pumping the ball always going long because we didn't have control of that midfield. We're making it hard for ourselves because our midfield was so far apart from each other, right? There was moments in the game where we were a bit more compact, and those moments, you know, it led to our final third being, you know, the ball being progressed into our final third more and more and more.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think
So how do you balance it out? Because what I saw from the three of them was that it's almost like they were taking turns. Almost like one was dropping back to go fetch the ball, and the other two were playing eights up there. And at some point, Serino was back there. Is it a systematic problem?
I think it's not sustainable, right? To have your midfielders so far out from each other, because if you have one picking up the ball, when he turns around, because our other two midfielders are so high up the pitch, how does he progress the ball?
Yeah.
Unless you are asking him to dribble the ball up, which, you know, as a player, unless you are dealing with wingers, as a player, as a coach, I mean, you can't tell a midfielder to drive up the ball. That's their own decision in the game. You should always have a plan for them to progress the ball, passing, rotating the ball. It's not sustainable to ask a midfielder to drive up the ball by dribbling himself. So I do think they should be more compact. Maybe, you know, just bring them closer. Let them be more compact. But going forward, OT, these chances need to be taken away. OT, it's concerning. It's very, very concerning, Oti. That we are creating chances in the game. We are genuinely creating so many chances in the game, and we can't convert.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how they fix it. I'm not in a professional. You know, I only have so many years. I'm still learning about the game. I don't know how you fix that. I think it's a talent. You know, and also one thing I want to speak about now into the positive moments is Cele. Oti. Cele is a brilliant player. Oti. You know, his playmaking from deep is just amazing. I think he needs Umtetwa besides him to give Umtetwa the defensive responsibility, because you see Ucele, you know, he's more of an 8, but he can play at the 6, but I think he can play as a 6 in a double pivot.
Okay.
Because if you're playing a lone 6, you're asking him to progress the ball to the 8 or further up the pitch and have
Cover the defense.
Yes, exactly. You have a defensive responsibility. I don't think Ucele can be a lone 6 at a 6 alone. I think he has to play with Mteto. I want to see that combination Ucele no Mteto. Yeah, but I think much improved game from the whole team. That backline was solid, especially in the first half. But one more thing, quickly.
Very quickly.
Quickly. I don't want to see Umsimangu, the backline shifting. I don't like that. I don't want to see the backline shifting, because it leaves a lot of holes in that backline. If you see, when Umsimangu shifts to the wing, there are a lot of spaces in that backline. That's something we should fix.
Okay. Thank you so much, Putale. Let me let in Bongs.
Yes, Oti.
Bongs na riwin mara kutwa kare man bato basomba today man. Aba excited man.
Oti, it's simple in trainer. 083 10 111. Bagana by Sebedisa if they want. Because about Lava complain all the time. They're always complaining.
Yeah.
But they're always benefiting, and it's always a good time for them.
Yeah.
Oh, not the struggling team. How they benefit? Ever a problem for them.
Yeah.
It brings pain to this whole nation. Chiefs win Brauti.
Mara, was it benefiting? Na akabona ku benefita?
No, game in entirely obvious, and entirely balanced. It's just that the referee Kiana and saying a few mistakes when it comes to decision making.
Yeah.
Other than that, the game is entirely in control.
Okay.
And entirely in control. Chiefs played very well, except the fact that our defense is in the right back. Ever since Dove in the left back, it's much improved in the left back. In the right back, overlapping, Frosler.
Yeah.
It leaves the center back cover up, and now the defensive midfield has to come and cover up for the center backs, which open spaces in the midfield. We need to just fix that position and then try and create as more chances as we can, and also take those chances. Because actually, but then they were doing very well, trying to take all those chances, and everything was still going well until a certain incident happened to leave Stellenbosch to get a goal.
So then, Bongs, tell me, is this the starting lineup Owe Batang going forward? Is this maybe something we should look at, or do you have some changes you would make to Kaizer Chiefs right now?
I think let's give it game then we'll decide. We'll take it from there.
Okay. 3-1, flattering score, Mara. It's a good win. What did you think of the second half performance, Mana? Hasa Chinchile against Marte, against Vilakazi. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, the changes to now were not that bad. It's just that they lost control of the game in the 85th minute where a goal came.
Yeah.
But they managed to respond. And drama. The first team to have experienced VAR. Drama in that goal. I just want to cut 10 o'clock. Shilo Sasu, Kimang, Shilo Saku Shasheka, Utoring about it. But the fellow incident now, it drama. I
No.
almost had a heart attack drama. But at least Obrigado. Do some
What the
reason
whole
why-
now is it time for Obrigado to start? Because we saw him the game before. Astatile Nasi right, man. Is it time for us to see those players, especially for Modi?
Not yet. More 30 minutes and I get the last minutes of the game. But I can see something from him. He's doing well for the Chiefs. He manages to win us a few games. The Skukuni game, o kgonne re winela yona. The Marumo Gellets game, o kgonne re winela yona. He's coming all right. Now he has to take time. He has to take time to develop. Which means the ball and therefore under the bus and I the mistake be re to khuta. Ka mo lontsha jwalo ka re hlola re kwatetse mate re mlitsa the black sheep of the film. Even though Matilena a leka ho improve the highlight.
For the last minute, I'll ask you, does he need time or will he become another Shabalala? Because Kiyo Shabalala, Haretsiburu Wetsa
For Shabalala, I think he developed problem. He says something in development because he can play. He has some moments where he makes some magic for the Chiefs and Nazims. Just like Villa, if I this season, if then the next 6 months, then he'll be okay.
Okay. For time, I'm going to ask the comments. Guys, is Mfundo in danger of becoming like Shabalala right now, like Ngobo? Who man, we've been watching come in. Are they at risk? Are the youth achieves a risk a little bit there? Let me go to Tebza.
So, Mr. Oti.
Oh, my brother.
Na relax panning manate dir fitile we just na masata o le manate fela. Aish, it's like but it's not na ke serisi kan tela we were always waiting for next season. But then re tla bona Oti ke buile gae ke ro bona ke buile gae. Yeah. Oti. Aish, about the game, now I was very happy about the game. Okay. And we always complain about our play, our coach, and our players. So I want to first comment on our play. Now I'm happy. I'm because I now see what the coach wants to do. Yeah. That's the first positive. We see now the type of football that Nabi wants to play. Now, even his starting 11 selections, he's getting 90% of it correct, and now he's starting to be consistent in other departments of positions with his selections. We know that when we're going to a game, we're going to see mode. We know.
Oh, Tebza. Let me just check with the comments. Guys, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I know. Then I think we'll come back to Tebza. Bugo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, no stress.
Yeah, nature Wi-Fi ya sokolanya na irigetse ne ka data. Yeah.
But it's fine. You were still saying, hey.
So I now I like what I see with his consistency on player selections, understand, and how we play. Now the problem comes when our coach substitutes. His selection of substitution. That's where he gets it wrong. He got it wrong at Sundowns. He didn't have to do much. He just had to sub off Mart and sub off our Bergman. When Bergman, this striker were now well colored.
Oh, to freeze.
No, the other one.
Oh, Morris.
Not the colored one. Morris. When he got injured, he wasn't supposed to bring on Dupreez. He was supposed to bring on maybe Chiva or shift Lilepo to the center forward, because now it killed Lilepo because he was feeding off the target man. So Dupreez cannot hold up the ball. So he didn't have to do that. Not much changes. And also, when he introduces Mart, we lost control of the midfield. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if he doesn't trust Marikema. Our number 22. What's his name again?
Oh,
Matlo. You understand? I feel had he fielded with Ngobo and Kele, it was going to be the right balance with with Kele being at the base of our midfield and letting Ngobo and Mato occupying the right and the left hand side of our midfield, it was going to be balanced. When on his starting lineups, he doesn't have to change much when it comes to the second half. Nothing much, especially in the maybe 60 minutes. You don't have to change much there and there. And then when it comes to the last 20 minutes of the game, that's where you put on fresh legs, like maybe you put on Vilakazi and you bring on Shabalala for Lilepo and Modi up front as well. If you started with I keep forgetting our striker. I keep saying Betis. I keep saying Betis, but you know who
Morris,
I'm talking about. Morris. You bring on Chiva just to keep the game as it is, because when we watch the game, we don't see any problems. So you don't have to change anything, just like for like. And I've heard some people saying we have a problem there at right back. We forget that Lilepo doesn't track back as much as Modi. If you check Modi's work rate is very good. He helps when we defend him. Lilepo doesn't track back. So now when Frostla is overlapping, it leaves a gap there. So Lilepo doesn't help to cover our right back. So
for the last 30 seconds here, Tebs, I want to ask you about the midfield. Now we've seen a lot of players go midfield. We're now starting somehow Sikabai.
Look, as much as we're saying Kele is not much of a defensive midfielder, but then as you can see, modern football, it doesn't mean that the player must be that hard, must be like Bokatande. It has moved from those kind of players. So I think Kele can be at our base of our midfield to collect them because of his we've been crying about this kind of a player, OT, over time. That we don't have that player who's comfortable, who can collect the ball from our center backs and not be afraid of losing the ball. You understand? So we have that player. Why not utilize it? And we also have players who can play in front of him. The likes of Ngobo can play in front of him, also Mato, and also Sirino and Sabalal. We have those kind of players, creative players that can feed off Kele. So I would like to see Kele at the base of our midfield, protecting our back four and also starting the attack. And Ngobo and Shabal, whoever, as long as it's Ngobo and Kele, whichever attacking midfielder, Sirino, Mato or Shabalala can occupy that position.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Question for the comments. Would you in the comments be fine with playing maybe a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, where maybe you could bring all of these players in and still have a Kele and Mtetwa, still have them play with Sirino, for example? How do you guys feel about going to a front two? Let me go to Ubugo. Bugo.
Hey, but kunjani?
Mina ngimnandi man, yazi isinkwa sami sase-Stellenbosch ngisidlile, ngimnandi, ngisuthi, ngiright, Bugo. How did you feel about the game at Chiefs?
But to be honest, man, a game, I think we should appreciate the inzame zabo, like they are trying, the guys are trying, and it's a new system. It's a new system in a way that it isn't iqalile, but it's a new system because kubo bonke coach besinabo, we never had le nto ka 6 where someone bazokwazi interchanger. I think it's a new thing to them. And any system, xa ifika, you have to learn it as a football player. And we found the system, each and any system ine flaws zayo. I think that's what we forget. Hence we got 4-0 SuperSport. Because about that, if we attack with both wingers and then the two defensive midfielders also want to join the attack, then you leave yourself exposed. Hence there was always ila 2 versus 2, which is Ulendo, the other guy uzotsala Ulendo Dudley, and then kushiyekwe i-1 apha pakanapa. Like zizinto ezinjeyana. Otherwise, I wouldn't say we have a crisis. It's just that the guys are still learning the system.
But still learning the system. Boma 24 games in.
With the 24 games in that you are talking about, i-Chiefs kudala izama uMahlo usandobuya ngoku ukhe wastarta 2 or 3 consecutive days waphuma naye ucele usingifumene ngoJanuary. That's when we found i-balance. Otherwise, first half of the season i-Chiefs it was not even near being average. Hence besiwina sidraw wesiluze swin, because it tells you that the guys, if you saw, you noticed as like Kaizer Chiefs TV, because I even watch as in coaches works besakala as players besba angry because simply instructions. The guys didn't know what to do, so like it's enzima leya into. But ke masize kwezi mna I'm happy that we won, but I'm not happy how we won.
Okay,
I won't lie, the happy. Then sizawuqala apha, there is a crisis with the development players zethu. They are half cooked almost zonke, because even today ushabalala, you don't know excel kusenda attacking midfielder, ku left wing, ku right wing, or as a false number 9 awukamazi kunangoku. And enye into endingayithandiyo with using players ezincinci, it's inconsistency. You can go anywhere, they will always be inconsistent because abakwazi umastera umuntu angadlala kakuhle this weekend, kweli weekend ezayo abe ishadow of lanto beyiyo. That's another thing. So as players nazo zizoba nje vilakazi, sometimes uyafika adlala ngenye imini beqaliwe khangabonakale wakhutshwa. So we have that crisis of if we rely kwi young players izawuhlala isenzeka leyo, because by nature young players are inconsistent.
Can I ask, does Nebi have the time to develop? Because it feels like this job is you have to hit it running, man. Mele, you must go from the beginning. You must go straight in and win games. Does Nabi have the time or even the freedom to develop, or what should we do with those players?
I think to be honest, developer, it's up to the guys ngo. The platform by we can't say unalo to develop young players. I don't think nezinye team zinalo ixesha to develop young players. Hence you had uRulani last season esithi ufeel sad for uMabena because akanaxesha lokumjimisa, because that guy needs more coaching than other players.
Yeah.
By the way, ngoku Chiefs andithi idinga, like as we speak, we are hearing that guys, Mike, we are hearing that bafuna i goalkeeper, i left back, i CDM, striker, like in SCM, which is they still need to beef up the team yabo to be competitive. So it's up to Abo Shabalala if they buy an opportunity but introduce it to the setup level. Let them be over Abo Mafugeng. Work hard until you get your chance. And didn't go by Nigewe classes in. I think they got even better chance than other youngsters.
Yeah.
Because when we dala consistently. Class of figure players is equality, then you have to compete with that person. You had your chance up obuzo funda corner. That's Kaudlala it like pressure. Because the most it's a pressure. Because most of those guys can handle pressure. Ushabalala ebeke wadlala wabane injury wabuya into engenguye lo ebenguye before abene injury. But let me move from that, because
for time very quickly yeah.
Okay, ngizokwenzela nje points benzenze lapha.
Very quickly, very quickly.
Yes, I will be very quickly. Number one, we have Lilepo. We're saying that Lilepo is the problem because it doesn't track back. Lilepo doesn't have to track back. But as soon as Ufrosle Senyuka, one of the defensive midfielder, should occupy any defensive position. That's a solution. Number two, we have Sirino as a problem because we're too distant from other midfielders. But that one is not just to Serino. A lot of guys, they do isolated run. Like, if you to prison when they run, uzobona to prison kuphela. Akekho omnye umuntu oshiftayo to make himself available. Kanti xa unebhola, it's either 3 or 4 people who should be available for the ball. Okanye lo wenza run, someone should support lower so that kuzokwenza combination play quick. kujongwane neball. Then sibe lento sibe number 4, which is the biggest problem.
Last point. Yeah.
Our biggest problem now is rest defense. We can attack, but what do we do when we lose the ball? See forward. That's our biggest problem. Players, if we see committees to forward, it means that we have to press as soon as possible, and everyone press so that that team doesn't have time to think when the last because now Tina is too slow to react, but it's still expose them. I think we have seen that. We have seen Liverpool doing it. Thank you.
For time. Sorry, Bugo. Just so that I can get the others in. For time, I need to jump in. Let me bring in Ray. Welcome to the show. How are you, Ray?
Yo, Mr. OT, how are you, man?
No, I'm good, my brother. Me, I'm happy, man. A win is a win, man.
Yeah, a win is a win. I'm a course for life.
Tell me about the game. How did you feel about it?
Man, Mr. OT, man, I am so happy. Like the boys really fought, you know.
Yeah.
They really showed like that they wanted to win this game. They were playing with passion, because some of them they really step up, you know. For me now, I'm so proud of the boys, but first half it was good. That combination between Utabo Tebo and Kosipile, for me now, that was the best one. That one, you can see there's a tiki-taka, you know. First half, it was something else, And second half, I don't know what happened, Midfield, it was a little bit sloppy, you know. They couldn't find, each other, yes. So, it was good. And Stellenbosch, for me, I feel like Stellenbosch, the players, I feel like some of them are not used to Steve Parker system. They are getting that they wanted to gel more, because it will take time, because there's no Reyners and Adams and Van Rooyen, because if those guys were still there, Stellenbosch, I love Pavele. The game could have been different,
Yeah.
But thank God that those players have left.
So then, do you think that, man, Stellenbosch, you know, you see how they're performing. I know they're number 3, but they've been having a up and down season. Is that maybe the problem with being the 3rd best team in the country? SuperSport is there, then it goes away. Kukune's there, then it goes away. Hey, Labantu Bangena by Puma. How do you feel about that? Do you think Stellenbosch can be consistent?
To be honest, Mr. OT, they can, but for me, they need to stop selling players, you see that if you see the player is your key player, don't sell him, if you can see this one is on form, this one understand my system, Stevie Parker, okay, let me not sell him, because I want to compete for the league, They need to say, okay, we need these players, we can't sell them, because we want to compete for the league, we want to compete for the CAF, and they need to keep that structure, because maybe once they won 1 or 2 trophies, and maybe they can sell those players, because for me, that the biggest mistake Stellenbosch they made is to sell Urenas and Adams and Van Rooyen, because I feel like those guys, they really gel on that system of Stellenbosch, because those guys, they were playing, and I feel
just for time, I want to step in on that point about players and signings and selling. What should Chiefs do with the development players, number 1, and then number 2, are you still looking to sign more players at Chiefs?
Mr. Oti, we need to sign more quality players, man, because we need next season we need to hit Unabi. He needs to hit the grand running, because he needs to start winning trophies, and for me, the development players, I feel like the Kaizer Chiefs should be they must loan other certain players, Abo Happy Mashiane, Abo Samgelo, Zwane. This season, for me now, sometimes I don't get him. Some people, they say he's playing for the wrong team. No, because there's pressure at Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, people they need to understand is a big team, yabo. And for me, he needs to go somewhere where he can boost his confidence even more, yabo. And for me now, I feel like yabo, the boy since he got injured, yabo, I think he was never the same, yabo. It's not that Duduzi Shabalala from last year, if I can put it that way, where you could see he was taking on the players, yabo. And Mfundo Vilakazi, I feel like he's a super sub in the second half. I feel like he's not a player who can play him like
you can trust in a full game.
He's still young, yabo. He's still learning, yabo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For time, I'm gonna let Ngocha come in. Ngocha, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm okay, Ben. I'm okay. Hope everyone is okay. I'm happy with the win. Very, very happy with that win.
Yeah. Tell me about the game, man. Does your happiness change from happiness for the win and happiness of how they played?
I'm happy because this is a cup game. I won't concentrate too much on how we played. What we needed to be effective, and we were effective at certain times. I hope that we could have scored earlier on, just to make sure that the rest of the game is more settled. How we played, the pitch has a problem too. One thing I noticed, a lot of players were slipping. Both Stellenbosch and Chiefs players were slipping. That changed the game. How Cele and Ngobo were passing the ball to themselves to a point where they couldn't control the ball. Even when they are passed, you find when they have to turn, they will slip or be late to the ball, you know. And we know, and that's why it ended up being a ping pong game in the center of the field instead of using their strength. Until the team changed and said, you know what, since here in the midfield it's not klanganing kahle, then they now need to play those long passes, which obviously the team wasn't set up for those long passes, you know. Unfortunately, it's what we whole team had to do just to manage how slippery the pitch was. So it was quite heavy on both, especially in the midfield. And I could see that we needed, even in our next game, we need Umthetho so that Cele can play that beautiful football he's playing, but knowing that he has the freedom that someone else is going to mark for him and assist the defense, instead of thinking about defending, holding the ball, keeping possession, progressing the ball, and doing all those things by himself. And he can't do that by himself. No matter how good he is, you need more feet.
I wanna ask you about that, because I know that everybody's saying that Ngobo and him looked great, but you could also argue that Stellenbosch man didn't necessarily press us that much in those areas. And also in the second half when they took off Ubutsaka, man, but they opened up and it became an open. Is this a pairing that could go forward? How do you balance the midfield? Because we've seen a lot of people coming into that midfield. How would you set up, and how would that link towards your front play?
I think the midfield, we have a lot of players that can work. The problem is we haven't had time to really find the best of the combinations. Like for instance, we still have Castillo.
Yeah.
We still have a midfielder who can play a number 8, who can play a different way. We haven't seen him yet. How would he work with Cele? How would he work with Matt close to them? Not Matt, I mean Umthetho. So we need those combos to be clarified. Okay, do we play Umthetho to hold back and sit back with the defenders, and when Forstler goes forward, he'll cover for him, and then the two midfielders come back, so that when we defend it, we're sorted. That hasn't been explored yet. We also haven't seen Uguti. Ngobo plays well, and what we always needed is a player that won't complicate when we have the ball. Okay. Sometimes we panic because we don't know who to pass to. But he was showing Uguti. Sorry, he can hold the ball, at moments we thought he wasn't there, but he was playing properly. He was just doing the simple things that was needed without complicating any moves. And then even when he had an opportunity to assist him, he put a nice assist. Unfortunately, they held Udupriz in the box, but there could have been a nice assist. That combo could work well, and I think we have enough players to create other combos in the midfield and outside.
Tell me, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked everybody else. Well, I've been asking. What do you do with the youngsters? Because everybody's saying that more quality players and more players must be brought in. What happens to the development of Abomdu, Nabo, Dabo, Zwane, and all of those kids?
Let's be honest. It's not all the youngsters that are at Chiefs quality yet, but we can still use them. We can still use them. Like for instance, I'm still waiting for Utuba to be back. I'm still waiting for Utuba to compete with the Lepo there, so that the Lepo knows that if he's not pushing his A game, that fast boy is gonna be ahead of him all the time in when it comes to choosing a player to play in. Ushabalala, because he needed to play too many positions, the coach wants him to play at 10 and to play wide at the same time, to play to have a free role there. That doesn't work for him because it confuses him. Same with Vilakazi. He doesn't want to be confused by playing into different pockets. He just wants to have a simple job, play on the wing, attack. That's it. So for them, let the coach simplify the job so that they know what to do. And then get the older players, then they could play the intricate Osarino and other players. They can have that role to play.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. I think I can.
Before
very quickly.
Go. One second. Very quickly. We have not seen any Kaizer Chiefs development player go to loan anywhere and come back a better player. We've not seen not even one. So the option of loaning players is a no.
Okay. Guys in the comments, do you agree? We're going to move on to Pirates now. So please, if you want to speak about the Pirates game that they played versus SuperSport that ended 2-2, please request, and then we're going to go to that. I just wanted to say a couple of things. I don't want to dwell too much about the other stuff because you guys, if you want to know how I felt about the match on YouTube, I have my reviews and things like that. I want to speak about the youngsters. It's a sad thing that Coach Chiefs, the youngsters don't necessarily have a role in that team. And it doesn't look like there is any space for them to actually go out and develop in that team. You know, we don't have the same situations that, for example, Jose Rivero is doing, and you have to give credit to Jose Rivero because he trusts in the youngsters and he gives them a chance to grow. Abom Fukeng, you know, but also he gives them a structure around them that makes sure that they don't need to work that hard. We'll talk about it now. But what I'm scared of is we're going to be waiting for people's potential, like we waited for Ngobo. We're still waiting for Umshini. You know, we see flashes every now and then, but we're not sure where he fits what he does. Abo Mashiane. Remember Abo Khatebe, Abo Mahlatsi. So I think for the good of the careers of some of these kids, I would at the very least loan them out to say, guys, go out and gain your experience elsewhere so that you can come back into the team at least with some minutes under your legs. And even if you don't come back into the team, you can go out and we can maybe sell you because of a very good performance you had somewhere else. I'm very against this thing of holding on to them just to hold on to them and holding on to them to just point at them and say, hey, look at that one. I mean, Umtu is what, 3-4 years in the starting lineup. Umfundo is coming into his year and a half, I think it is, of being a first team player. But not necessarily going all the way. Uzwani, we hear about his massive potential and how many things, and he passes well and he does that, but we can't live off of that potential, and that's how players die. So I think Nabo, for their own careers, they need to literally just say, guys, can I go? Tshwane, didn't he sign his professional contract last year midway? Before that, he was playing under the DDC thing that allowed him to be Jewel. What I'm saying is that he's been with the first team for a very long time, for over a year. And I don't know what the plan is with him. But we're going to go into Pirates now, guys. We're going to go into Pirates. And we're going to speak about the 2-2 game that Pirates played versus the SuperSport, which they then won on penalties. When you look at the stats, there were 20 shots by each team. Of those 20 shots, SuperSport got 5 on target. Orlando Pirates got 8 on target. Orlando Pirates had 53% of the possession. They created 3 big chances and they missed 2 of them, whereas the SuperSport created 3 big chances and only missed 1 of those ones. That means, of course, that Orlando Pirates is going through. It came right down to the wire because at some point SuperSport could have won that game. If Ricardo Goss had gotten a stronger hand on Tito's penalty. But I guess sometimes it's not to be for some of the teams, for these teams. So I'm going to go straight into Uvelile. Mtakababa, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Bafo kunjani?
Hayi, mina ngimnandi manaw. Ngikusemi-final, Velile, ngikusemi-final. Wenlazi.
Ngiwa ngengijabula kakhulu namangaza angithi namhlanje ngingakhi-10 so aphelile amawini sandwina kayi-2 saphelile amawini wenyanga angithi uyazi nwina kayi-2 hayi kwavele kwathula ke manje la Bafo
Let me speak because I see that the network. If the live is going off, guys, that means I'll close the mic.
Guys, I think I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I don't know. We lost Velile. Yeah, Velile, start Velile. Give you an opportunity to start.
I'm gonna try getting back. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't donate, man. I need to upgrade some stuff. Okay, let me go to Velile. Sorry, man.
Hey, yabazi abalandeli bakho bathi i-Wi-Fi yami yase-KFC. Makhosi mawinile madoda esivelele.
Mara.
Amawini wenu wenyanga aphelile phela senuneka.
Yabona ngene teamini yakho man 2-2. Awu.
Amalanga osiza yeza. No, but honestly, just not before. My team yami siyabonga ukuthi qualified to the next round. Even though it was expected because angithi some defending champions. So since ngakutshela like our last conversation with the only person ongathi usasedize kancane okamanje so coach wethu because usaqhubeka ngefinder yama substitution so and asazi kumele senze njani. Singasho nje ukuthi sase ku that phase nakhona yokuthi axakeke kangaphezulu njani but asithemba ukuthi uzobuya recover quickly because ama-game kancane ayaphunguka. Uyabona ukuthi ngesonto sibhekene nengwadla la sibhekane nento enzima kabi.
Yeah.
So mangazama ukuthi asilungise le yona ayekele la substitution yakhe le yala madoda adlala ku-right. Uyibone la substitution beyikhona futhi engingasazi isizathu sayo kuze kube namhlanje ngempela ngisazi.
Yashantu. Ngoba uyiphele.
Bazasixoxela ngelinye ilanga ngesubstitution ukuthi hayi kwenzakalani kodwa sikaMarco befika ngomgqibelo bekayi-freeway ma. And after two generation bakasibonisa and ubese umayela ngaka left center back. And then umayela bekazoba la eduze nevele angepho umayela umuntu othanda phambili kakhulu. But asibona manje lobo. Ya bengicela ukugcina nje into engicela bengicela ukuthi please ngaku uzithola ukuthi ungasatholakala because abosiyo laba sinokubasela la sibasebenza nje ngale kwangeke
Oh, mara let's make the thing right, yeah, bana. Hey, okay, no. Hey, akusazi kezalani. Singakhulumi kakhulu ke ongamba just for sikhulume before ikhatha.
May I just ask something? Sarah, comment. What happened between Amkize and Moffat and now Sunday to place Ukuni? Can you please somebody just highlight me on that one?
Oh, they kicked them out. They kicked them out. They still frozen, so they couldn't play the game. So they decided that they were kicking him out of the game. Then that Ukuni had to first play Milford. And then now they played last week before, and they played together. So now we are waiting for Sundowns versus Kukune, but then we don't know why it was postponed for yesterday.
Okay, thanks, but I just want to know besides that Moffat game. Thank you.
No.
How? No, I'm going to continue to you in the Pirates and the listeners. Actually, honestly, I was not getting the entire performance of the Pirates.
Okay.
And I will not single one player, and I will also not blame him. I think there's a psychological challenge based on those players. I think we might be overlooking this impact of one attack for these players, because remember when you are players, you're learning what we call because if you look at the Pirates, the way those guys mind,